Hello everybody, it's me Taillamp Studios, and today is going to be another installment of the Figures of Sodor. Today, we're going to be talking about some people that I have surprisingly never seen anybody talk about ever in video format. And those people would be the first few kings of Sodor. Now, this is a topic that I've literally never seen anybody ever discuss in a video before, so I just figured they'd be good candidates for the next installment of the Figures of Sodor. Now, a couple things before we begin. First of all, this will be focusing on Godric McHerald, Harold the Black, and Godric Crovan respectively. 2. Whilst this will mostly be focusing on the fictional aspect of Harold the Black and Godric Crovan, I will be pulling some elements from their real life history as well. And finally, there's not a lot of pictures of the people mentioned in this video since none of them have been illustrated, so in some cases you might just have to use your imagination. So, with that out of the way, let us take a deep dive into the first few kings of Sodor. Godric McHerald was a younger son of Harold, the Danish king of Limerick. He took advantage of a defeat of the Norse by the Irish to go a Viking. He harried Wales, then sailed north until he landed at a creek near Jurdy on the Isle of Man. On a starlit night, he said to the wondering natives while pointing out to the stars that reflected on the water, quote, "There is my path, running from my country to this place. That is my road to fame and fortune." Godric McHerald ruled Sodor for 10 glorious years, and his reign is known by Sudrians as a golden age. He is remembered in Sudric legend as King Ori or Starstrider. However, things weren't all that great. Earl Sigurd of Orkney attempted to reclaim the islands 3 times. The first attempt was made on the Isle of Man in 982. The second attempt was made on Sodor in 984, at a fort near what is now known as King Ori's Bridge. King Ori defeated him both of these times. 5 years later, in 989, Sigurd returned with a more overwhelming army and held a battle on the Isle of Man. Unfortunately, this time, King Ori and his 2 eldest sons were killed. However, his wife, a Manx girl, his daughter named Gundra, and his youngest son named Harold all escaped to Isla. Now, I couldn't find any actual photos of the real-life Harold the Black, so this was the only photo that I could find that was relating to him, so just use your imagination. Harold the Black, or as he's known in real history as Haraldur Hallofsson, was born in 987. He was only 2 years old when the remainder of Godric McHerald's family fled to Isla after Godric McHerald and his 2 eldest sons were killed in battle. Harold claimed Sodor and Man in 1014 after Sigurd was killed at the Battle of Clontarf in Ireland. Sigurd's only heir, Thorfinn, was only a baby at the time, so Harold decided to take advantage of this and reclaim his father's kingdom. He ruled for 20 years until Thorfinn was able to drive him out. He escaped to Iceland and married a woman named Gerda in 1044, and in 1045, Godric Crovan was born. Harold, however, was killed in an affray in 1047. Finally, we arrive at Godric Crovan. After he had driven Harold out of Sodor, Thorfinn had appointed a puppet king named Fingal. However, soon, Fingal started to act like a tyrant, and thus the Sudrians desperately wanted Harold back. So they sent the Sigurd of Kronk to find him in 1056. He landed in Iceland, where he was only able to find Gerda and an 11-year-old Godric. When they arrived on Sodor, Sigurd took on the role of Godric's foster father and reared him with Ugmund, his own son. Sigurd trained Godric to one day reclaim his father's kingdom. Upon Sigurd's death in 1063, Ugmund succeeded his position and became Godric's Jarl and Viceroy in Sodor. After Thorfinn's death in 1065, Godric Crovan, with Sudrian backing, had finally claimed Sodor's kingdom. One of Godric's first few battles was the Battle of Stamford Bridge, where he was wounded and taken prisoner by Thorkel of Norwich, an officer of Harold Godwinson. The two struck up a friendship, and Godric promised Thorkel would land in Sodor by way of a ransom. Godric was able to successfully get Thorkel over to Sodor in 1067 with the collapse of Saxon resistance in England. Godric Crovan's plan was to improve upon his grandfather's fortifications of Arlesborough and Pilgodred, the latter of which became his headquarters. After a period of consolidation following the completion in 1075, Godric launched a failed invasion of Man from Arlesborough that year. He was successfully able to invade Man at the Battle of Sky Hill in 1079. However, Godric's brother, Ugmund, was killed in this battle. Godric's dynasty in Man lasted for nearly 200 years. Sodor's first Norman invasion was in 1089 at what is now known as the Battle of Crovan's Gate, where Godric, with the help of 300 men, held over 4,000 Norman Vikings at bay until reinforcements could arrive under Sigmund and Thorkel, where the Normans were drawn back into the narrow pass. In 1094, Godric Crovan fell to an illness. The Normans decided to take advantage of this and invaded Sodor again in 1094. However, Sigurd of Arlesdale's victory at Casnehauen put a stop to the invasion. Godric Crovan died in 1095 and was buried at his own request at Isla. Godric Crovan is remembered for bringing peace to Sodor for many, many years and bringing honor to his grandfather's legacy.
Well, that was a lot. That was actually quite a lot.
To be quite honest, I actually really enjoy making this video. It's so much fun to actually look into the early history of Sodor, look into, what all came before the engines, and trust me, I will be making some more content about early Sodor in the coming months. But I want to know, is this a topic that interests you guys, and do you guys want me to see me cover the kings after Godric Crovan next? Let me know down in the comments. That's going to be it for this video, and until next time, this has been Taillamp Studios, saying goodbye and peace.